Hi there, welcome to part 2 of the video series on physical movement and moving your body. Now part 2 is all about application of the universal laws that I mentioned in part 1, as well as discussing some practical tips on how we can actually practice love towards our bodies and in encouraging the movement of our bodies. And so the holy trinity of love in my world is thinking love, speaking love, and doing love. And if we just focus on the first one, which is all about thinking love in the context of moving your bodies. And even for a second, think about it. Even though I'm stationary right now, sitting in front of a camera, speaking here to you all, the truth is, there's a lot that is happening in my body already, and in yours too. If you think a little bit about your brain, there's a lot of connections that are being made, neural path created in order to make sure that we're able to think, for the words to be created in our mind, for the normal bodily functions to naturally keep going, to make sure that they still happen. Now, those natural bodily functions include breathing, right, to make sure that I stay alive. Apart from breathing, we've got the digestive system, which is most likely, taking care of the meal that I had earlier today in order to then transform all those food ingredients into the energy that I need to keep moving, to be able to keep moving. So our heart, if we think a little bit about our heart, it is constantly beating, right, and it's pumping blood all around our body that has a lot of amazing functions, and carries a lot around our body to whichever cells and organs need it most. So there's constant movement, literally, as we sit here on the chair, on the couch, or wherever you might be watching this particular video, right? And so I think what we should be doing when we're thinking love towards the movement that's already happening within our body is to literally give gratitude and appreciation through the power of our mind. Exercise your freedom of choice to say thank you. Each organ, you can name them, be that the brain, the heart, the liver, your other parts of the body, whatever it might be, for doing your own job, for making my heart still continue on ticking. Thank you for doing that. Making sure that you might be able to actually, think of any kind of heart symbols or love symbols, whatever that resonates with you, and send it to every single part of your body, or as a whole, your body as a whole. I'm a big proponent of imagining yourself in white light or golden light, whether you're in a bubble or perhaps you're standing underneath a shower of white or golden light. So think about that and imagine all those bits and bobs actually transcend through your body, through into your internal organs, into your internal processes that are constantly occurring. And if you have any particular pain in any part of your body, or just something doesn't quite feel right and you think it needs a little bit of healing, I genuinely suggest that imagining some green light instead of white and golden might be helpful. Green color is sort of a healing energy color. It's very easy to remember as well. If you forget, think about the traffic light system. We've got red, stop; orange, be ready to stop or be ready to go, and green means go. Green means go, which is movement, right? And so if you think about movement, internal movement all throughout your body, and that movement requires some kind of healing, the green energy, green light is what you are after in terms of, imagining that light targeting or addressing a particular area of your body. And that's really it in terms of the practical tip for that one. Really easy. It's just an application of your imagination, visualization, and go for it. In terms of speaking love, if you can think it, you can speak it out loud. Be your own little cheerleader if you have to, for your own body and all the movement that's already naturally occurring. But also, if you've taken the initiative to actually Go out there and move your body, be that you're off for a walk or a run, a jog, or you're off to play some sports, or you're off to the gym, or you're in a personal training session. Be your own cheerleader. Tell yourself, congratulations, well done, name yourself. As if you're talking to a third party, but you're actually talking to yourself out loud. Say those things in the mirror if it feels a bit weird, not seeing yourself, but addressing yourself in that way. And don't forget to also encourage others. And if you see somebody taking the initiative to move their body, commend them on doing that. Show them a little bit of appreciation, be a cheerleader for them. And, the more of that kind of energy of giving, giving encouragement and support to others, you're sending out into the universe, the more you're likely to receive it back, whether in a direct one-to-one, shape and form. So somebody else might actually give you the same encouragement or words of support in the near future, or you might get some kind of blessings in other shapes and forms, positive energy. Now, one type of advice, an additional practical advice in the speaking love bucket, is if you are an individual, like I mentioned, I had anxiety. I mentioned it in part one. I had anxiety about having people, like coaches or trainers, tell me what kind of physical exercise I should be doing and sort of hurrying me along and, kind of watching me do it. One of the breakthroughs for me when I actually went ahead and signed up to personal training classes was to realize how understanding personal trainers are, but if they are not, then it's a duty on me to actually speak love towards them by actually giving them some better information as to what works for me and what doesn't. So in that process of having a conversation about what works for you and what doesn't, you're actually showing love to yourself, as in you're acknowledging your own needs and addressing, the good, the bad, and the ugly, to make sure that your ultimate goal is to keep turning up, to keep exercising, to keep moving your body. But you're also showing the love, to that mentor or coach, because you're actually sharing some information with them as to how they can make, your experience better, and something that they may have not been aware of, right? So I think there's a lovely duality there happening. And, just be frank, honest and frank as to those needs, because ultimately that you're not doing it, and I'm sure your coach or trainer will understand that you're not there to, slack off, and you certainly don't want to, not be turning up or cancel your sessions or, cancel your whole movement journey. You're actually speaking up from a vulnerable perhaps place in order to ensure that your experience is a bit better, and therefore you move for a more prolonged period of time, ideally on a regular basis, and you establish that great routine and healthy lifestyle. And I think it is timely to move on to the third part of the Holy Trinity of Love, which is doing love. And obviously it's quite interesting to be able to actually talk about, moving your physical body as a doing love exercise in itself, right? Any kind of movement is you doing love, you're showing love to your own body. And there's lots of ways to get that done. I'm not going to list it off, but you find what you truly enjoy doing. I think that's a bit of a golden key. And if it's a walk, you open the door, you make sure you lock it behind you, and you go for a walk. You don't need much, to make that happen, right? If you enjoy a particular sport, rugby, football, or you enjoy playing tennis, like I mentioned in part one, netball, golf, you enjoy swimming, perhaps horse riding, whatever it might be, find what your heart desires and keep doing that. During that process, you'll be doing a lot of movement. Another part of movement that people don't quite perhaps acknowledge themselves is when you're tidying or cleaning your home, It's quite a bit of physical exercise that's involved in that, right? So have a look around. If your home requires a bit of a clean up and tidy, perhaps it's something you could do in terms of showing your love to yourself. And guess what? You'll be showing love to your own home through that process, right? So not only are you moving your body, but you're actually tidying and cleaning your home at the same time. That's amazing. You can do two things at the same time. You know, doing love and multiplying the love that way. And look, does the universe provide you with any kind of, rewards or brownie points for the universal law that I mentioned in part 1 of, kinetic energy and the fact that everything is actually constantly in continuous movement? I don't know, but my gut feeling is yes. So something I have noticed along my personal journey of physical movement is that every time I have done it for a continuous period of time, and as I mentioned before, it used to be like a month to 2 months, 3 months, something like that. But now it's been 7 or 8 months of my personal training sessions. And I can definitely tell you that not only is my physical body in a much healthier and stronger state, which is fantastic, but you may have also heard that physical exercise does wonders to your mental health. And I can definitely attest to that. I do feel much more calmer, feel more resilient. I feel the fact that I feel stronger physically makes me feel mentally better, knowing that I am taking care of myself, that, moving through my 30s, I'm establishing a healthy lifestyle routine. And, that helps with your mental health. But I think there are elements of blessings outside of those obvious physical and mental health examples. And I can just speak, from personal experience. I think ever since I started on this journey of constant, regular exercise and moving my body, other aspects of my life have also improved. We all wear different hats. We all have different categories of things that we ought to do. There's lots of relationships in our lives, right? And I feel like every single part of my life has sort of gotten a bit of a boost or more kind of positive energy. So in a weird way, this might not apply to everybody, okay, but I'm just speaking from my personal experience. I do think there is an aspect of universal law and the fact that everything is in continuous movement, and if you exercise your freedom of choice to give effect to more movement in your life, so moving your physical body, you get more aligned and in tune with how the universe operates, and as a result, you actually get more, brownie points or rewards in terms of abundance and blessings of, variety of sorts. So, excuse the washing machine, it started beeping, the hourglass is pretty much done. I think it's time for me to just pause there and jump into part 3 in order to wrap up this video series. Click on the link down below in the description box and I will see you shortly. Bye for now.